What a game, Geordies. 3-0 at St James's Park, under the lights, Champions League fever. Gordon with 1, Barnes with 2, and Nick Pope joining 7 other keepers to be on the elite list for goalies to get an assist in Champions League history. Let's get into it. I've got praise to give all over the park for last night's performance, but honestly, I think we have to start with Eddie Howe, and he just got the tactics of this game bang on. I genuinely feel the team selection, the tactics, the way we played, it just seemed night and day from what we saw against Brighton at the weekend. And I feel like this is where we need to be. Go back to basics. Go back to what we saw last season. Murphy, Anthony Gordon, and the big man up front. It's exactly what we need at the moment. And I really hope we carry this form into the weekend against Fulham. But going through the team, I have to start. Nick Pope. Nick Pope with a Champions League assist. What a throw. What vision. I mean, I bet he couldn't believe it himself when it came off, but that is something dreams are made of. He has joined an elite list of only 7 other goalies in Champions League history to get an assist. And he's 1 away from becoming joint top with Thibaut Courtois. So if he can do it again, we can only hope he'd do it again. But Nick Pope, I thought, fantastic. I did a video on him midweek. I really think he is coming into his own at the minute. And as a shot stopper, he is incredible. Some of the saves he pulled off last night, they kept us in the game. He's looking really solid. And I have to bring up his ability to play with his feet, because it's one of the things we all know about Nick Pope. We all get a little bit twitchy, a little bit worried when Nick gets the ball at his feet. But last night, I saw him get closed down by 2 attackers from Benfica and chip the ball out for a corner. And genuinely in that moment, I'm thinking, well done, Nick. Well done, mate, because you deserve it. With all the saves you've made, with all the chances you've cleared, the stops with your feet, you know, he's been fantastic. And those little moments where we watch him hoof one into row Z and think, for fuck's sake, Nick, you know, you've got to be better than that. At the moment, he is worth every penny of what we're paying him. And I've got to say, I think he is one of the top keepers in the Premier League. And if he can continue this form, we've got a chance of making Champions League again. But moving through the team, I thought Kieran Trippier and Dan Burn, solid performances. I thought Big Dan done really well, especially the guy he had on the right wing for Benfica to mark. He looked a handful, and the guy he can cut in. He's got a great shot on him. I thought Dan Burn did really well to deal with the threat that was coming from that side. And we did get caught out on a few long balls, that crossfield diag, but Dan Burn was fantastic. I thought he played really well. Moving into the middle of the park, Sven Botman and Malik Chow, absolutely awesome. This centre-back partnership looks to be really working at the moment, and these guys look to be happy. They look to be comfortable in this setup, and I think we have to stick with this. At the moment, I think as much as I like Fabian Schär, I just think you can't change this backline. I think we have to stick with this and have some consistency. And then I think the biggest talking point, and probably the thing I was most pleased with, Lewis Miley playing as a DM tonight or last night. Lewis Miley was brilliant. I thought missing Sandro in there, and I'm kind of glad Sandro came out because he looked leggy against Brighton. And Joel Linton, wasn't in form against Brighton. And I really feel like Lewis Miley and Jacob Ramsey in there with Bruno, and Captain Bruno, Captain Fantastic, was brilliant. But I really feel these two young lads coming in to an unsettled lineup, they did so well. You could really see having the fitness in there, having the fresh legs, enthusiasm, two guys who were chomping at the bit to get in the team. I thought they did really, really well. As a midfield three, I thought they were brilliant. Bruno, another level. Some of the passing, unbelievable. The fouls he won, the creativity, the little chip over his head, chest it down. I thought Bruno was absolutely top quality in this match. And then going on to the front three, and the thing I've been crying out for weeks, Jacob Murphy back as a starter. And I see the deliveries he put in, and genuinely I'm sat there thinking, this is what I've been banging on about for weeks. This guy's delivery is the best in the squad by far. He's whipped cross, he's got the vision, he plays the ball early, he's not afraid to take a shot, he's not afraid to cut inside and make something happen. And he might not have quite as much to offer as Elanga on a counter-attacking front, but at the moment we're not playing counter-attacking football. Most of these sides we're coming up against, we are able to hold our own, we are able to hold possession. And in those moments I feel like Jacob Murphy is the ideal right winger, and he has to start ahead of Elanga. And then on the other side, Anthony Gordon, finally, Anthony Gordon, back to doing what he does best, beating a man, delivering the ball, cutting inside. He looked a threat the entire game. And when he got that goal, his confidence just grew. And I watched him 70 minutes in, and you think everybody's tank is empty, and Gordon just kept going. And I think it's the adrenaline. It's a Champions League night. It's the atmosphere. It's everything. But he was phenomenal. And I was pleased that he got man of the match. I would have given it to Nick Pope. But Anthony Gordon, he was worth it. He was worth it for everything he did in that game. And then moving on to the big man, Nick Voltemada. I thought he was fantastic. I thought he had barely any sniffs on goal, but for what he didn't have, what he offered us in that dropping into that 10 space and linking up the play, I don't think there are many other strikers who I could say, I think he could be a 9, but he could also be a 10 that can do that. And honestly, the link-up play for Barnes' second goal, unbelievable. The drop in, the back heel to keep Gordon on the move. He takes two defenders out of the play, and it just leaves Barnes to finish like we know Barnes can finish. It's great to see us have a nice Champions League evening, a good result against a worthy team, but it's nice to see us back to our best. It's really nice because everybody's had that worry, that niggling doubt that are we going to turn this around, or have we made wrong decisions in the transfer market? Is there something not right at the club that's making this team not click? And then you see a performance like last night and you think, do you know what? Maybe it's just a confidence thing. Maybe it's just a bedding in period. Maybe it's just learning each other's styles of play. But last night we were phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. And I think we could have walked out of there 5 or 6-0. I was pleased to see the subs come on and us to give players a rest, especially Gordon, Voltemada, Bruno. As much as it's a little rest, Bruno, more giving Bruno the standing ovation that he deserved for the game that he played. I thought we were phenomenal last night, and I think that has to be credit to Eddie Howe, because the system he set up, the way we played, I mean, it was a fast start and then it seemed to get a little bit shaky around the 30 minutes. and Benfica started to get into the game. And then as soon as we got that break, Murphy's delivery and Anthony Gordon's first goal, I just felt like from then on in, we're on top. We're at St James's Park. We're doing what we do best. We're free-flowing. We're attacking. It's exciting. I just thought it was a fantastic game of football. And I really hope we can carry that into the next few games and build some momentum, because I feel like we were just about on that cusp before the international break. And then we came back to face Brighton, who, to be fair, they were brilliant. They're a bogey team for us. It didn't go our way, as it always doesn't at the Amex. But if we can carry this form now, it could be something really special. So, if you've liked the content, guys, be sure to hit me up in the comments. What I'm going to say is, if you think that was our best performance of the season, please give this video a like. And thanks to everybody for the subs and getting involved. I really appreciate it. It's really nice to see proper fan debate. I say it all the time, but it's so good to have different people from different walks of life, from different backgrounds, enjoying the experience of football at its finest. So get involved. I hope you like the content, and I hope I'll see you in the next one.